21st of March 2026 was the date of the Premodern Danish Nationals. Table 1 was recorded throughout the whole Swiss, and the videos will be up on this channel eventually. I really enjoyed the day as a whole, and I believe the organizers did a great job. Great food, not a ton of idle time between rounds, judges on site, and low priced, so we didn't have too many spikes. I would say low prices. Thanks to all the players for being cool, and I hope the ones of you who were there had a great time as I did. It takes a lot of time to make all these videos, so if you would like to subscribe or maybe even drop a comment or like below, I would really appreciate it. And it helps a ton with my motivation for doing these. And if you have any questions as to Nationals or the video in general, just leave a comment down below. I will answer every single one. Getting into the first match on camera of the day, we have Mikkel on the left here and Vilas Møller on the right. I've chosen to use these bars up on top with the flags in it because we will have rounds later on with non-Danish competitors. And as you might know, non-Danish competitors also went into top 8. So we see a Colosseum, I assume, from Mikkel turn 1 here. So it could be a couple of decks that he could be playing here, and a polluted Delta is being put down. And we do see some cards in hand that might give away what the decks are about. Wall of Blossoms. And we see a fetch, so maybe you can see, yeah, we saw an ill-gotten gains there. So if you know ill-gotten gains, it's about getting a high number of cards played, you could say storm count, and then mill your opponent. So that's the game plan. We see an opt, nothing he likes, and goes to his turn, draw for turn. We have a Brain Freeze in hand already, quite early. And passing back. Playing like this, I would assume I was against Psychitok maybe, or even Black-Blue Dreadnought with a bad mana situation from the start, which is not Gush mana. An AK. So there might be an AK war later to see who can get the most value out of the AKs. Intuition. Intuition for Brain Freeze, and I don't see what that card is. Ill-gotten gains times 2. Maybe it's an ill-gotten gains. He chooses the bottom one, and ill-gotten gains is in his hand. I have no clue what's going on with the deck on the left. Looks like some bug, maybe. At least it's blue and green as of right now, with an AK and a Wall of Blossoms. Okay, that is a Colosseum there. So I have no clue what the deck on the left side of the playing field is. And here was a polluted Delta for Swamp. So we see 3 colors from the play on the left here. I have no clue what this deck is about. Maybe the rock splashing blue. Grouping lands here, and yeah, there's a deed. Kinda does nothing against Storm as of right now. Ritual. Lion's Eye Diamond. So looks like there is card draw in hand, and he only needs some mana. He gets the Lion's Eye Diamond. And draws a turn, playing down a Gemstone Mine. One of my favorite lands in the format. When you're playing a deck that relies on the Storm ability, you really need to be able to know when you've got it and when you haven't got it. And Villas is a seasoned Storm player, so he knows. Third intuition of the game. Arms chant. Arms chant. Arms chant. Chooses that one. And cracks the Colosseum. Draw 3. Discard 3. Crazy ability. Yeah, getting rid of excess lands is nice since he has 4 lands in play and ritual effects and diamond effect in hand, so a lot of mana. Gemstone to 1. Maybe. Yeah. Arms Chant is played. Maybe fetching a counter of sorts. It's counterspelled. So he is playing against something controlly. I have no clue what it is. It's just the rock with counter magic and AKs. LED. Ill-gotten gains. Maybe. Yeah. Looks like he wants to. Well, Ill-gotten gains is a known card in hand from the intuition. So what is he going to do now? He can't just play it outright. Cunning Wish. So goes to find an instant or sorcery from his sideboard if he is allowed to. Mana is tapped. And it's countered. It is countered by Khan here. Fetching goes to 18. Probably finding blue, since that is... I have no clue if this list plays Gush or if you don't, but he fails to find. Fails to find. Interesting. Probably forgot that he discarded an island earlier on. So this deck is not a Gush deck, I can see. Nope, nothing. And ships the turn. Sends the turn back. Looks at the top card, chooses it, puts it into his hand. But not a lot of blue cards in the graveyard for a nice flashback effect of it. And the Buck deck doesn't really put on pressure here. There's no clock, nothing, just giving the Storm player time to find whatever he needs. Another Cunning Wish. Another Cunning Wish. What will he find? Abeyance. It looks like. He does have the mana for it as of right now with the gemstone. Okay, 2 mana. Abeyance. And counterspell maybe? Counterspell. Good old Tempest counterspell. And ships a turn back here. Another land drop. What is the plan here? 5 mana. And we have a reader. I will put the card Mirari on the screen here, but he can pay 3 to copy stuff. So that is the long-term plan. Okay, now we will remove some blue cards and stack the deck here, finding a card in the top. What was that, 4? 5 cards? Maybe finding something of value. And it's removed, of course, because it was flashback. One of the cards that has a better price at flashback than it does initially. Okay, played the pedal here to draw. Playing another pedal. So we do have a storm count here of 3. Doesn't matter. Ships the turn. Have done some setup here. Okay, so choosing to pop here. And Lotus Petal was sacrificed for blue for opt. I think I would have done the same here, just denying some mana here, since you know that he even failed to find another land. 3 lands in play. Probably a tutor effect or 2 in hand. I haven't been able to notice what's in his hand. 3. 4th, intuition. Fourth, intuition. What is he going to find here? Wish, brain freeze. Brain freeze. So 3 brain freezes, one of which is in the sideboard probably. Choosing one of the cheaper ones. I have no clue if that was correct or not. Maybe if you're an ill-gotten gains player and you know how to pilot the deck, you can comment down below. So the ones of us who doesn't know will get to know. 5 mana for some soldiers. So now he does have a clock playing down a Colosseum. And now he starts to close down the game. City of Brass is deployed. So he is on a clock now. Knowing that, we will need to see some action eventually from the ill-gotten gains deck. A lot of air is removed from the deck now and is stationed in the graveyard. Milling to draw. Okay, now he demands a count of the library, so maybe it's time to go off here. Maybe, just maybe. Mills himself for 2 more, draw. Meltil Node is a nice card in several decks, but it can be such a bad feeling when you mill something that you actually need in hand. But I guess that's just how the game works. Okay, now we have a storm count of 2. do have a storm count of 2. Brain freeze. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And they're gone. And that was just in the end step. So now 5 mana, what can you do? Can you actually mill the rest? We will see an opt. Dark Ritual. So storm count of 2. And 3 black mana in the pool. Using 2 of those for another ritual effect. With threshold, of course. Mental note. Now what? Does he have enough? And does he not have enough? He can ill-gotten gains and then find some this blue mana for counter magic. So trying to play ill-gotten gains here. For 4 of the 6 mana that he had in the pool already. Counterspell. Storm count is up to 6. Browsing the graveyard. Then what? Taking a damage here from River, so it's a blue mana, and using a black mana as well, so have 2 mana in pool. Flashback. Flashback, deep analysis, so losing 3 life. So he is dead on the swing back, playing LED. Playing LED. Now he demands a count yet again. So it looks like he have it. He might have it. City of Brass, Dark Ritual. 2 life. Okay, instead of using that City of Brass, you could just use one of the black mana in pool. And Brain Freeze. And that should do it. That should be enough here. But there's a guy's blessing here, so it's not enough. And that is on to game 2. The deck does have a plan against blessing, but it's just a bummer to see blessing in the main here. But let's go on to game 2. If you are playing MTGO or Magic the Gathering online and are using a rental service, or if you want to do that, I have a link in the description for a referral and a coupon code which makes you get 30% off on your next subscription. So consider that, and on to the video. On to game 2. We will see sideboarded action, and we actually saw one of the sideboarded cards from Villas on the right. He had a Tomahawk Crypt being drawn in his opening hand. Pretty nice sideboard card for Blessing, so he needs to either have Blessing stuck in hand or remove it and hope hope for his life that there isn't another one or a third one even. Some decks are maybe having too many blessings when they don't make sense, but I think the game plan of the deck on the left is just sort of holding back with counter matching and then eventually being able to loop some counter magic back into the deck and have the inevitable win. If you have blessing, you can't deck. So that is a game plan. Okay, we see some legacy being played. Taking a card from your hand, put it into the library, shuffle it up. So having a card that you don't want, put it away, and then a delayed draw for 2. So it's a sort of a cantrip effect. We just see lands being deployed here mostly. So they are playing fast. I have sped this up by 20%. So if you find something odd looking, you just have to know that this is a sped up footage. No land drop. And a land drop. So now making the pool being able to tap for green. Cunning Wish. Dispel. Opt. Okay. Now we do see a creature here. Being able to drop down that swarm is... no, Santa Swarm is gone. It's prohibited. Santa Storm would, or Swarm would actually be quite nice since there's a lot of counter magic. But not having it on turn 1 is not nice. Duress and some glare. We see Brain Freeze, we see a... Yeah, we saw Tormod's Crypt from the start. We see Ill-Gotten Gains. Deep Analysis. And what is the last card here? Brain Freeze number 2. Okay, Furnace is being deployed and is lit up. This puts Villas's graveyard on a pseudo clock. And he just pans out the graveyard to signal that I'm not trying to hide anything behind something. You can just take whatever card you need, but there's nothing of value right now. Say another basic land. And Furnace is just doing Furnace stuff. Morph. A Morph. And if it's an Exalted Angel, he does have the white mana for it already with City of Brass combined with Reflecting Pool. Brainstorm. No, sorry, not Brainstorm. You can't play Brainstorm. Brain Freeze, of course. Using it to just grow his own graveyard to buy him some time from that Furnace is an acceptable play, I would say. Just using or leveraging your opponent's spells in your Storm count. And it's a true gentleman spirit here. As I told in the intro, this is not a spiky event where people angle shoot. I didn't see it myself, at least. I think one of the reasons is that the price for winning is not more than for Windswept Heath. Of course, they do come with a price, but it's not like a Mox or Dreadnought or something that we see in other tournaments. So people are playing like gentlemen and being nice to each other, and I like that. It was a nice event because of it, and you can see playing with your cards open, even though you're not supposed to. People just did that. And also, people reminded each other of their missed triggers, or some asked if squeeze shouldn't just be returned to hand instead of just being in the graveyard throughout the turn cycle. So nice people in general. Intuition, just laying there. The angel is flipped and attacking, so it was an angel. Nice card from a control deck, especially if you know that you're playing against a deck that doesn't bring a ton of spot removal. But they are playing on two different axes. One playing with life laws as the way to win the game, one playing with mill as the way to win the game. So two different game plans in the same game. And I like that. I like that because it's interesting. Most of the decks in the format just play around in the life total game, where you're just trying to get your opponents to zero eventually. But a few decks does do something else. Okay, intuition for 3 LEDs. Intuition for a house down payment, even. Those uh, those LEDs have gotten out of range, and that's the way of Premodern now, I guess. Uh, LD is put into hand and goes to his turn, draw for turn. It's a land, a paint land. Underground river. Does he have it? Does he have enough here? Don't think. Okay, maybe he does. No, he just draws 2 cards for 4 mana. Not the best, not the worst, but setting up for later turns. AK, also nice. Swings again. So down to 6. Down to 6 life, so he is on a 2-turn clock, unless there's like a decree in hand. I can't spot it. But if there's a decree in hand, this is just game over. Unless he goes for it now. So he does have 5 lands and an LED in combination with the ill-gotten gains. But I'm not sure he could go for it right now. Depends on what's in his hand. Playing LED, putting out the storm counter. Storm count to 2. Yep. So there is an annul on the LED. 2 mana for ritual. With threshold, of course. So now he's using a zombie token to show his lands, or his mana, sorry. Pedal. And now he tries to resolve an ill-gotten gains. Mikkel takes a read here. It says that you are to exile it, and each player discard their hand and finds 3 cards in their graveyard to put into their hand. So definitely a combo card. Counterspell, good answer. Clean answer and counterspell. Okay. Does he have another one? Does he have another one in there? Nope. Ships a turn. And storm count is, of course, reset. FOF is always interesting. Spells that could. I don't think I would choose anything else than the counterspell pile here. He even gets a land. I think the split is fine. When you have an opponent playing the FOF, think a ton before they choose a pile. You know that you've made a correct choice of how you split the cards into the piles. I'm not sure what's going on right now. He is thinking about deploying the brain freeze right now because the storm count went up to 7 because the FOF was in the end step. So end of turn, fact or fiction. Classic. Okay, Angel swings. And now he's dead on next turn, so what's the plan? Yeah, there's nothing. He has nothing. He just lays it out there, finds his cards from his sideboard, and show that this is what I had the plan to do against you, but not enough. Against an Exalted Angel, you have just too few turns, and I don't know if the Furnace did anything here, but it could be used just to counter some of the efficiency of the Illigan gains, but that is the first game of this tournament. 2-0 for Mikkel.